Bitcoin is around record highs and up over 100% since July. So do we buy it? And when do we buy it? Is Elon Musk a genius Tesla twit? Can we trust this sucker with the Tesla share price down 13% in a week? And NAB reported yesterday, are the banks a buy for 2022? I'm Peter Switzer.
I'm Paul Rickard.
And we're mad about money. Well, Paul, Bitcoin around record high. I know you're thinking about getting into Bitcoin. Is this a buying opportunity coming up?
Well, I'm waiting for the pullback, Peter. I mean, I'm as you know, got a little more keener on cryptocurrencies. I think the CBA's move is big. And
why aren't you wearing a T-shirt, Paul? You got to drop the tie. You got to keep becoming a
Silicon Valley boy. I'd rather be a conservative crypto something or other, right?
You're not allowed to be.
Well, you got to look the part sometimes, Peter. So, anyway, I'm happy to wear a tie. I'm happy to talk crypto. Look, it's not just
why have you changed?
Well, I think Bitcoin is got a future as a store of value. That's a bit like gold. It's limited, Peter. And I think there's now too much momentum behind it. It is going to become something like that. I'm not sure as a currency we're going to trade as digital currency. I think there's other things coming, but there's just too much momentum in this space. That doesn't mean it's not overhyped. Doesn't mean the price might be too high, but I think there's just too many forces now behind it.
Has the CBA helped cryptocurrency be accepted?
Look, certainly in Australia, I mean, I think people are going to get inundated with requests, which is, look, by the way, they're just essentially providing a trading platform. The security, the CBA, they'll hold effectively.
But the word security makes people more interested.
Yeah, they'll take away the nasty part of having to find someone to hold the currency for you and all that sort of stuff, which is a bit of a mess, right? And you don't really know who to trust. So that's what CBA is going to do. And I think that's real positive. I mean, it's just a world thing, Peter. So what we do in Australia really doesn't count too much. So, but I think there are enough people globally on backing it. Central banks have been late to the party. That's the people like our Reserve Bank should have been on this much earlier and may have missed the plot here. So I'm a bit of
a plot. I've never heard that term used before. That's like a malapropism, isn't it? You're mixing up your
missed the. No, I don't know. I'm not sure what's wrong.
Missed the boat.
Missed the boat.
Lost the plot.
Lost the plot. Okay. It is Wednesday morning.
Yeah, he's only a banker. You don't expect me to understand the English language. Paul, let's go to the next one. Elon Musk. Is this guy a twit or a genius? Well, he's a genius for Tesla, but who goes to ask the Twitter sphere about whether he should sell 10% of his stocks? What's going on there?
Well, look, this is came out, of course. It's come out of the idea of a wealth tax being floated. A tax for billionaires was the phrase they were using in the US.
Yeah.
And the problem with billionaires, of course, is most of their money is tied up in paper and stock.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't get paid any money.
No, and he doesn't actually pay any taxes because he doesn't sell any stock. You've got to have capital gains to pay tax.
Good point.
So there's been a suggestion around that there might be billionaires tax, in the US.
A Biden billionaires
tax. And, typical Elon Musk, share price has gone through the roof. Let's just put something out on Twitter. Let's see what the fans think. Oh, should I sell 10% of my stock? And hey, presto, Tesla's off 13% in a couple of days.
But, and not one of those Twitter sphere survey people who said sell it owned Tesla.
That's right.
If you owned it, you didn't want him to sell because the share price has fallen, 13% in a week?
It has, but I should point out, it's still up 30% the last month. So look, it's just sitting above $1,000 US. And Tesla is one of the most overhyped stocks in the world, right? And
that's a great company, great product it makes.
Musk is just such a spruiker, right? You've got to give him a hand. There's no better self-promoter, I think, than Elon Musk. But
in the old days,
he hasn't sold any yet, right? No. Maybe they never will.
But in the old days, Paul, before you were a part of the creation of ComSec and things like that, in the old stockbroking world, a guy like him would be in trouble with the regulator, wouldn't he? Because in a sense, he's over-influencing the market. He's affecting share prices. But the new world, you get away with this kind of stuff.
He gets away with it at the moment. I mean, interesting enough, I said on this program about 12 months ago, you wanted to play EVs and lithium. One way was to buy Tesla shares at $500. Didn't expect them to go up. They're still the most overvalued company in the world. Yeah. But, price is in the eye of the beholder, right?
In fact, when I wrote a story about Tesla when it was even lower, you said, courageous decision, Mr. Switzer.
I did say a courageous decision. But look, it is what it is. So look, be wary.
Be wary. Be wary.
Anything with Elon Musk, be careful.
Yeah. Right? Buy it on the very big dip. Don't buy it on the high at the moment. Finally, Paul, NAB and all the banks or three of the big banks have reported recently. NAB's share price went down yesterday, but are the banks a buy for 2022?
Look, probably, Peter. I mean, look, a good workmanlike result from the NAB. I think NAB was probably the best of the three results. Had mortgage growth, not too much pressure on NIM, did a little bit on expense. There's still a lot of money going in financial crimes and stuff like that. Still the residue of the Royal Commission. And one of the interesting about NAB and some of the other banks is that their markets income has really taken a beating the last 12 to 18 months. That's partly because lack of volatility in things like the currency, but also probably a bit of a de-risking by the banks. So that's one of the reasons why their income is down. In NAB's case, that costs something like about $200 million. But if they can get the markets income back up to normal, it doesn't look so bad. So I think of the banks, NAB looks the best. It's probably the best result, the cleanest.
It's not the best bank, but the best for share price gains.
Yeah, CBA is obviously the best bank by a country mile, but it's very, very expensive. And NAB probably has more opportunity. Ross McEwen's now been there about 3 years. Takes a while to turn a bank around, right? And and Ross is doing the right thing.
Well, bankers to be corralled into behaving themselves and doing what the boss wants.
Well, also just focusing on what the customer needs. And there's a lot of inertia in banks, and we all deal with them, Peter, and we know what they're like. And you go to a meeting and there's 20 bankers there, and you think, gosh, that only cost $20,000 to have that meeting. What happened? Nothing. But
right. In fact, we're still trying to reform him. He's improving, but he's still a banker.
It's a culture. But anyhow, look, upside there. Look, bond yields are off in the US. That affected US banks last night. It really doesn't have the same impact on our banks, but we don't play the yield curve to the same extent. So you're going to see probably banks come under pressure a bit today, simply because we like to follow the leader. But overall, interest rates going up will be a positive in the short term for the banks, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, and Paul, given the fact you've got big numbers out there for economic growth in 2022. If Australia's going to grow at 5%, according to Reserve Bank, or 7%, according to Westpac's Bill Evans, if that happens, the bank's business must improve. And I would thought the share price could go up by 5 or 7% easily, plus dividends around 5. You could get 10 or 12% holding a bank for the next 12 months. That's my view. That's his view. I'm Peter Switzer.
I'm Paul Ricard. We're mad about money.